Welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to use the NuHeat profile for Savant that I have created. What you should get in your profile package is a PDF along with three profiles: the CLI bridge, the script bridge, and the instruction sheet that you see here. So what we'll do is after you've imported these into Savant, you will go ahead and open up your instruction sheet and read through that because I'm pretty clear on these steps and hopefully can get you through that pretty easily. So the first section here is just to import the three profiles. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and get an authorization token for your NuHeat account. You can do that by clicking on this link or just typing in this short URL. And when you click on this link, it's going to ask you to log in. It's going to say Savant's requesting your permission. You're going to say yes, allow. And then it's going to give you this nice big long authorization code. We are going to use that authorization code in the blueprint, so we'll just leave this open in the background. Once we have that, we're going to go to our config and we're going to place our components. I'm going to put this here so we can see. I'm just going to make this a small config just so we can see everything that we're going to add in here. So we have our host, and I'm going to search for GTS. And once I do that, I'm going to grab the CLI bridge and place that into my config. And I also need a network switch. I'm going to have to come back to place that, so I'm going to place my script bridge as well. So let's get a network switch in here. And we'll place the last profile, the NuHeat profile. Okay. Now we can go ahead and make the connections. So the first one we want to do is to the CLI bridge. So I'm going to make that connection. And when prompted, I want to enter the IP address 127.0.0.1. This is always going to be the case for the CLI bridge. Then on the script bridge, I'll go ahead and make that connection. And this one has to be the IP address of the host. So let's get a host that we're going to use here. So I'm going to use this host here. So I'm using 137 as my IP address. 192.168.91.137. Okay, so I entered in the IP address. Now I want to go into the script bridge profile and enter a zone name in the host field. Now, that's double clicking on this. I'm going to go, it says host name, but it's really a zone name. So I only have one zone and it has to match exactly. So I'm going to type room 1. And what that does is that allows this profile to actually communicate with the system. It's really important to make sure that you get that correct. We place the NuHeat, so now we want to connect the NuHeat, and that is also going to have that 127.0.0.1 IP address. Don't forget to connect our host up. Now we want to navigate to the state variables in the NuHeat. state variables, and see that authorization code. Now I want to go back to my website, copy this big long authorization code and paste it in here. Make sure you have no spaces at the beginning or the end, because that will prevent it from working properly. And we are good with that. Close the inspector. Now we want to generate the services, save, and upload our config. Now let me just make sure I put the UID of the host I'm using in there. Now you'll notice I have not put any actual thermostats in the data table yet, and that's because we use the Savant host to actually get the thermostat information for us. So there's no config tool that helps us get those addresses. The host actually does that for us. So I'm going to save this. And I'm going to upload. Now I did do this in the wrong version, so it's going to give me an error, but I'm going to upload it anyways. That's not really a concern to me right now, but please, please, please make sure that you guys are matching up the version number that you are uploading to on your system. Now, let me clarify something for you. This authorization code is basically a one-time authorization for your host. So if you have to replace a host and you are using this profile, you will need to reauthorize the new host. Same process. You can still use your config, and you're just going to have to put the new authorization code in the same config. So you don't have to change anything but the authorization code on the new host. What happens is the tokens are changing regularly, and the host is saving that to the hard drive. Once you replace the host, the token goes with that host, and we need to get a new one on the new host. So here is the host booted up. We're going to open it up in System Monitor, and we are going to take a look at the component status. And we're looking for a couple things. We want to make sure that the script bridge is not bold and that the CLI bridge is not bold, and it has some connection stuff going on, and you're seeing messages being sent and received. The NuHeat profile will take about 3 to 5 minutes before it actually connects up, and then once that happens, you will start to see communication being sent and received, and it won't be bold anymore. Okay, so now that we've waited a couple minutes, we can see that the CLI, the NuHeat, is no longer bold, and we are sending messages back and forth and receiving messages. So now the next step we need to do is go to the, let's see what our instructions say here. We're done with this. After we've uploaded, we've waited a couple minutes. Now we need to check under System Monitor, under the System State tab, and go to Thermostat Address Name. Thermostat Address. And here we go. Now I have the information I need. Thermostat address name is Office, and there is the thermostat number. So now I'm going to take this information. I'm going to go back into Blueprint. I'm going to go to Tools, Settings, HVAC. I'm going to add a thermostat. Make sure the controller is selected to the NuHeat Profile. I'm going to select the room, the thermostat address, 1420420. And actually, this room should be the thermostat name, office. Once you've done that, it's only capable of heat for these particular thermostats. We're going to go into the Savant app zone map, and this is where you're going to match up. If you have multiple zones, I just have the one. You're going to make sure that each of the NuHeat thermostats is lined up with the zone that it actually belongs in. You don't want all the thermostats showing up in all the zones, because that'll get confusing to the end user when they go into a room and they see 3 thermostats or 4 thermostats. So make sure to do your proper unchecking of the thermostats in that. And that is it. Now we're going to just generate services again. And we save and upload again. And once we're done with that, it will show up in our app, and we have a working thermostat. Now, because the token changes, it will save to the hard drive on the host, whether it's a smart host or pro host. And if there is a power outage or the host is rebooted or reloaded, that is not going to break the connection to the cloud. It will stay connected and just use the tokens that are saved to the hard drive. That authorization code that you put in is a one-time thing. If for whatever reason you have to switch the host again, you need to change that authorization token. Hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks.